There, microphone check. Okay, mic check. It's good. Hello there.
Test.
Okay, we are going to continue with developing and hopefully get a little bit further with our progress. I mean, by developing, you're always getting further. Obviously, by doing work, you're always going to get something done, but hopefully we can reach a state where I can see, okay, tomorrow we're going to finish, because right now I see that we are starting with the last feature, but we have run into a question like, how do we solve the UI for adding and removing tools? Like, we go in here, and clearly we have this list, and when we add something, we see there's a check. Yeah, so okay, that's triggered. Now I put in an illegal tool. I put in a parallax tool into the brush. And first of all, it doesn't update the list over here. Second, but I didn't write the function yet. It should probably just refresh the tool list, and it should be okay. Secondly, we need to make sure that we check immediately when we assign this tool. Like right now, okay, there needs to be check. Now I press plus again, and it removes the tool, because now it's only seeing when we remove or add an element. But if we modify the element, we don't get a feedback. And we have to look and find if we can maybe have a way to react on changes on the element, or provide a UI for that, yeah? Like, this is quite nice to see what you actually have, yeah? It's actually nice. And it would be cool if we could, instead of clicking plus here, making a new element immediately that copies the value above and runs the check. If we would maybe have a custom field over here, where we can then say, okay, we see what is in there, but we can't actually work with that these are non-editable, and that we then have another UI over here where we can add and where we can prepare to add something or subtract. But that's also not nice. Yeah. That's actually this is very, very intuitive. Yeah, I like this. I really like this. Yeah, that is. Maybe we should just have a copy of the tools and then have a button, and then we say assign, and then we run all the checks. I think that would be nice. Like, then we have this list. Okay, we can actually put it in. We don't immediately see that it updates, and then we click assign, and then it does, it checks and checks. Okay, is that actually illegal tool? Did the user put in the same tool twice? Yeah. Let me go in, and here we also have to kind of make sure that we don't have the same tool in here 3 times. It doesn't make much sense. Yeah. So yeah, but kind of this is a stream where we kind of have to answer questions. We don't know the answer. You don't know the answer if you don't have the right question. In other words, you have to do the planning too. Yeah, planning is very important. That you have a good plan. I have the best plans. Yada. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I think it would be nice if we would just have a copy of the lists instead of a serialized list, because we see that with the serialized list, we see that even if it would check immediately what if this is a legal tool, we are either starting with none or a copy of this tool, and that's always going to run into trouble. Because a null tool, none is not allowed. So I go in here, it removes it because none is null is not allowed. Yeah. So we can probably start with working on duplicates, so it doesn't allow duplicates. Now, not allowing duplicates will make it so that we can't do anything, but that's okay because I already know that this is going to run us into a bottleneck. Yeah. So we have to then go in, just make the same list again, copy the list, but only if you click assign. Okay, but I'm finished. I have my new list here. Now I want to see that in action, and then it's going to produce the result over here and assign your new tool list. And if you say like, yeah, I don't want these tools, fuck them. Yeah, and then you see that after you click, and then you say like, yay, now I have the tools that I actually want. Like if you, for example, you don't use the flip buttons ever. Yeah, I don't use the flip tool. It's a maybe you like it. I don't like it. Yeah, but it was easy to write. And easy to test. I mean, it changes the X scale by putting a minus in front of it. Yeah. But as, yeah. Okay. I want to check in here. If this tool is already there. So we don't get the duplicates. Yeah. Pretty easy. Thankfully. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure yet if this is going to work. But now we should already have to check that we don't have any duplicates in there. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. Okay, I have to do that again. Okay, yeah. Oh, I made a mistake. If okay. Okay, that's actually funny. If this list contains its element, remove the element. Yeah, that's kind of funny. But it's easy to fix. I have to make a list of elements. Could also count Now to check if tool in is in the list twice or more. Yeah, it's obviously with links I'm like with where G count is. What's G? G. Isn't that another list? Okay. It's a little bit hard to read. G is a grouping. Hey, I learned that. I mean, I'm thinking about SQL language where it's also where. If we want to go through the list by element and see if it's in there twice. But I want to still I want to have one duplicate remaining. With this one, if I remove all the duplicates, it's going to remove. You have 3 tools in there that are duplicates. It's going to remove 3. You want to remove 2. Think. Oh, okay. There's an easy. There's actually an easy method for that. I guess. What's that? No, it's not. Yeah, let's try that out. That helps. Also, don't do that in the for each. What the fuck? Yeah. Okay. Now let's check that out. Check. And now it's immediately removing the duplicates. So it looks like we're not doing anything, but you can still remove stuff. Yeah. So it's not bugged. Yeah, let's remove the rotate thing over here. Now we should see that it's removed. Yeah, but if we press plus, it's going to duplicate this field and removing the field immediately because it's going to the check. Sees, okay, there's 2 times the same um, um, uh, uh-huh, uh, list and it's two times the same list and um, yeah, it's 2 times the same tool in the list and it's going to remove 1. Okay, I should probably stop because I was already thinking about the next step. Well, already thinking about, okay, now we need to do with the following. We need to do the following. Instead of referencing the list with a binding, we're going to copy the list. And so then you can edit them and then you get a button over here, assign. If you click assign, then you can see I want the tools to update, to check and update. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Uh-huh. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, let's try and make this window to its own thing. Um, yeah, here we go. Let's get going. Wonder if we want a close button. Um, make a button container. Ooh. And we have, ooh, we're close. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So maybe give the button container more padding at the top. Style. Not sure if it's padding top margin. I'm pretty bad at that. Always confused the one. One is inner, one is outer. Yeah, but I'm not sure. They both work in this case, and I'm just like, yeah, one thing works. Yeah, okay. Um, okay, now we should see immediately when we remove one of the tools over here. Should see that immediately if we click here. Yeah, we can see that. It's cool. Yeah. So we do this, close. Not still going to remove the tools because yeah, we haven't we're still working on the actual list. Yeah, so this button seems to be a little bit redundant. But yeah, I think that's a good way that it's intuitive. Going to we're going into one problem, and that is undo. It's going to be annoying, but aside from that, it's going to be great. Yeah, let's go. Except that I'm now running into the problem. I need to. I think I need to copy this property. Maybe then I can work with it. I hope that I can then work with it. Because yeah. Uh, if we can't copy this property into another property and then work on that, going to be annoying. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, awesome. Like we now have a function that lets you assign your own tools. Like you don't want an eraser there, remove it. Sign, it's away. You want to eraser there, sign it. We have to work a little bit more with the rough edges because right now, it's forgetting. I didn't assign anything. It's forgetting every time that it did something, or it's not. But when we compile, it will we do this. We will then add the eraser again. So there it is. But aside from that, it's looking pretty good. Like you can see the right tools over here. You can add them, subtract them. We have to work on having that persistent over sessions. So there's still some rough edges, but I think the base function is still there. So we can worry about other stuff later. Yeah. But yeah, maybe tomorrow we will be at the finish line. Since we're programmers, we're probably going to not go over the finish line. Instead, we are going to complain to everybody that the finish line is not in our favorite color, and then lose the race. But that's how programmers work. Okay. Yeah, but I'm really happy with this. It's actually cool.
BEST Viwares on boostforward.ru at 26 PCL5AA.
Oh, hi, what's up? 9 viewers, nice, hi. Wow, what have you been doing? 9 viewers, nice. Hi there.
Played FBC.
FBC? What's that? Firebreak? Ah, okay, nice. I hope you had a fun time and enjoyed your stream. Yeah, I'm having a lot of success on my side. Like, success is the slow grind that usually is programming, and yeah. Yeah, nice to see you around. So here, this is how you program with AI. You just ask the AI questions, and then hopefully it will come up with an answer. But it isn't actually that much different from Googling. So before AI, you would go into the internet and just try to get the good Google results from this question. Try out different search engines like DuckDuckGo. Yeah, so different search engines give better results for different things. Like Google is very commercial nowadays. It hasn't been that way, but nowadays they have their sorting algorithm messed up. Yeah, but nowadays you can go in and ask the AI, and the AI actually is not much different from a search engine currently, because it's basically just imitating humans and looking up into the internet was there and then copying the best result. Yeah, or trying to. Sometimes the results out of are terrible. Yeah. But that's yeah. That's how it is. And oh yeah, I found, yeah, it was a very easy solution because there's actually a method for that. Yeah, and you can find that in the internet as well. Just have to dig deep enough is how you do real coding. So if I do this and say undo, now it doesn't think that I did something over here. Let's assign new tools, undo that, and it actually did see that. And we have the undo finished. Assign these tools, reset, undo the reset, and that works. That's cool. It's actually pretty hard to do. I'm a little bit lucky that I get this to work today. I'm also running out of time. I'm going to go outside for my cat. But I'm really happy that I did that. Yeah. So cool. Almost release. Actually, if I go in here, this is the last big feature. Tomorrow I will go over the button, give the button a better sprite. So this is a new button over here.
How's it going?
It's going great. Yeah, like I'm really close to releasing. Now today I'm on my last task, and with programming is saying the last task doesn't mean anything normally, because I've always said I'm on my last task, yeah, and then you add another task, and I also have other features that I would like to have inside of here, but I don't know why. Why
Omega
tell?
lol.
Omega null, Omega null. Yeah, it's really like you always have ideas like, okay, I want this to be really great for everybody who uses it. I'm thinking about the user and the people who are going to work with this, yeah. And then you want the experience to be really, really good, yeah. So this button over here, this is new. This is why this white is not matching. I still have to. I'm going to do that tomorrow to give it a better icon and put this to the right so it looks nice, yeah. And yeah, currently I go in here and can draw anything that I want, and this is the primary use of it.
One more feature.
One more feature, yeah, one more feature is always good. Like you go in here and you make this line, yeah. Now this is just to show off this why there's a lime brush in here. And you might say, yeah, that's cool, but now you already have this feature.
Always
You're
one
thinking
more.
like always one more. And now you think like, okay, I want the user to also be able to edit everything. And I did that, yeah. So you can edit everything in here. You can assign your own tools. Write your own tool, assign it over here, or if you remove a tool, like you remove the tool and like you're like, yeah, I don't ever use that tool over here. Remove it, and then it's removed. Yeah, you go back, it's still removed. You can reset it to its default values. You can write your own things in here, yeah, and then this is really cool. And the thing that is still going to come up after release, because you always have something in your mind where I've seen people. You go in, you can draw in anything. Like here, you're drawing clouds. They are randomized. You have all these values in here. Like here, I have a draw chance, so I can randomize it more, so it's more natural. Spread it out. People want to work with this. People who work with this want a lot of features, and they want them to work, and they don't want to mess with anything. If there's any error popping up here, they're going to throw it away, complain that your asset is bullshit, and they should. Yeah, it's what you expect as a quality. That there's no errors popping up and stuff. And then you can undo the things. Yeah, now I'm doing this, but with my left hand on hotkeys right now. Undoing them, so they are not in here permanently. So you make a mistake and say, "Oh, that doesn't look nice." Put that back. Yeah, and they delete themselves. It's always
WP.
well played. Thank you. Yeah, and most impressive one is this one. Let me show that off. Still Harbor knows what's going to come now. Except that it doesn't look impressive right now for some reason.
How much will it cost?
Base one is free, and then there's going to be, so this one is the base, and then there's going to be 2 more assets. Interestingly, it doesn't. Wow. I think I've messed up one of the settings, because it's supposed to be parallax. Yeah, like over here.
Fail fish C.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing something. I could debug that right now. It's not drawing in. I think. I actually don't know where it's drawing on. Well, it's working over here. Okay. Oh, it's working. Oh, I think I didn't. I think I messed up with the parallax speed or something. But just reset everything should be fine. Let's try that out. Let's try that out. Okay. Hit or miss. Now's the time. Is it going to fail? I said it's ready for release. Is it going to fail me now? So let's see. So if I go in here, fresh settings. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we now have some sort of offset here. Yeah, where you can see a parallax effect on. Yeah, this is one of the features that you can do with it. You can even do it, set it so that the lines move left and right. Yeah, this is one of the features. And then you can put this to auto select. You can even do this with
Are you making a game too?
a group. And here you have a parallax effect. I started with making a game. Yeah, this is where I came up with the idea. Like I needed the brush for myself, and I was like, okay, I want to make the parallax brush. This is the actual thing that I wanted to do. And then I was like, okay, this whole thing here. This the whole thing that you see here, that's completely custom. Yeah. So this is where all the time I spent went. And then I had to invite the universe. Yeah. I wanted to do this, so I needed first, before you can do this, you need to have a prefab brush that can just draw in one thing. Yeah. Like I pick a 3D object here. Yeah. Can draw that in. That's a little bit easier to see in 3D. Yeah. Paint in your own stuff. You can also see that it's not painting on the same spot again because it's set like that. Just because that's what most people want. When you're drawing your own stuff in, and then you can customize a lot of things. Like you want to set up more things, you want to rotate it, all the thousands of settings that you expect.
Looks good.
Thank you. Yeah. And then you can define how much space is between each object. Now I make less space between each object, and they are closer together. Yeah, make more space. They are farther away from each other. Yeah, like over here. This looks more useful. Then you can mess with the scale, the rotation, everything that you want. Maybe let's put this to 45. See, it works. It does. Yeah. And you maybe don't want to just draw on the plane. Can just draw anywhere in the scene. Yeah. It's just a lot of options that you want. And the thing that I still think that is missing is a grid system, for example, where you have your own grid system, only draw on once, yeah, or draw in an hexagonal system, because there's games that play on a board, like board games, and then they want to draw into each field, and I don't have support for that right now because I actually don't have a use case for that. But I've seen that other people did something like that. You could write it by yourself, but I think in the future I will think about coming up with an idea how to generically do that. Yeah. And it's a lot of work. I still have to do the documentation. Unity is going to go over the whole code with their reviewing team, and they actually read the code and look if the code is good, and they can reject the entire project if they think the code is not up to their standards. So, but I know them. Yeah, I've already released some stuff on the Unity Asset Store, so I can say for sure that they're probably just going to say okay. Yeah, but if you're a beginner, for example, it's really hard to get to this level of proficiency. where you can go into the Unity asset store, and publish your own asset, like 3D models. You can't go in here
Will
and
you make
just
Godot plugin too?
no, no. I'm not good enough in Godot. Like if you go in here and see these assets, these assets are reviewed by Unity, and they are of a certain quality. Unity will reject your asset if they don't have that quality. And for Godot, before I would do a plugin for Godot, I would have to work with the engine first and develop something. And since Godot also doesn't have a store, or it has a store, but it's all free, I couldn't afford it right now for myself. Like, here's the Godot, and well, let's see. Godot store, does it have one? No, it has an asset.
Yeah, it's planned.
It's planned. Oh, there's something, a marketplace. Oh, so it has a store. I didn't see that before, so I was looking for something like that. The thing is, I'm developing on this like months, and if you're developing for months, it's impossible to give it for free. I just can't afford it here. You have to live from something, and if you give this out for even if you sell this, you're not going to get rich from it. Yeah, you can just survive until the next asset, and if you're working long enough, then maybe you can live from it. Yeah, but you also carry the risk. Yeah, and that's that's why it's really hard to get into this kind of business. First of all, you have a huge gap in proficiency that you need.
Yeah, marketing is 90% of the product nowadays.
Yeah, and that's also true. Like you see that all of this, you can see what it does, like that this parallax effect exists, has also some marketing purpose, because I knew that this is nice to show off, but this, with the lines, this really sells it. You see what it does, yeah. But what you need is actually what most of the people need is just something that draws in panels. Yeah, like if you draw in like this, you make your level, you draw in your enemy, like you have your map, and you say over here there's my enemy, there's a platform, there's this, there's that. You take your brush, it has to work. You just draw your things in. This is what most people need, but it's really bad to show that off, yeah? So marketing something like this is really, really hard. Thankfully, with the parallax effect, I have something to show off that it's not even a cheap trick. That's also super cool, that having this kind of parallax effect like over here, yeah, is something that is not easy to do. Yeah, it actually works also when you play the game. Yeah. So over here there are some tests. Yeah, how it could look like. Values are not that good though. You can see things are floating in the air. So you have to make things big enough so that the layers add on top of each other. But this is nice to show off on a trailer video, on marketing. Yeah. After you see, even when I'm finished and I'm close to finishing, I still have to write the documentation, give it to the Unity as a review. I have to do some marketing pictures for the asset store, like the thumbnail, some pictures that show off what it does, make a trailer video, make a video guide, and then I still have to go to Reddit, to Discord, and
how much time you invested into this project already?
Too much. Too much. And I have to go to Reddit, Discord, and the forums and just try to post something that's going to be interesting. Like when I show this parallax effect, that's immediately something that makes people raise an eyebrow and look at it again. Like they're going to say, okay, I don't need this, but this is really pretty. So you grab the attention. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. So the main development has been since February. Yeah. Full time since February. And I wanted to release in April, but I didn't make it. Yeah. So this is why I say there's always one more feature that's going to be very attractive. Before I publish, I'm going through everything. I'm giving this to a developer friend and giving in some advice, letting them review it. Yeah. And hopefully they will not say, okay, I tried this out and everything was buggy and trash. You have to fix this list of bugs.
Fresh 11 yes.
Yeah, hopefully. So I'm really working hard on, I know when I give this to friends, I don't have too much developer friends, by the way, not family. Don't give it to our parents or something. I've made terrible experience with that. Like the feedback is not useful at all if you give it to your parents. Go to somebody who knows their job. Yeah, and then they will give you good. you try. Yeah, I gave it to my family. The last asset that I published. Let's look at my website. Should be somewhere over here. Unity assets. There are the projects that I published, and this one has been reviewed by a friend. Yeah, has a small trailer video and everything, and you learn from starting small. You have to kind of start a little bit smaller to get bigger. First of all, your proficiency will rise, and you will also run into a lot of hurdles and get to know how the market works and what do you have to do to release, so you can prepare for it. If you don't know what is going to come up, you're going to run into a wall and you don't really know what you're doing, yeah, until you're there, yeah. And that also just takes enormous time and effort. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you for the wait and for the chat. Has been really nice. I'm off to go to fetch my cat. He's outside right now and have to get him in because this is his usual time. And I want to thank you everybody and see you next time. Bye.